Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
The governor says the time is now.
Now is the most crucial time for us to come together to protect ourselves and our families. We must work together to bend the curve.
A stay-at-home order set to go into effect at midnight. What does it mean for you? We're here to sort it all out. As of today, there are 1,328 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Michigan, and so far 15 people have died from the virus.
And as those numbers skyrocket, Governor Whitmer issued the order today aimed at keeping people home and slowing the spread. Here are the broad strokes. The order goes into effect at midnight and is set to last 3 weeks. It mandates Michiganders to stay at home and only leave under very limited circumstances.
And that includes trips to the grocery store, pharmacies, doctor's offices, and of course hospitals. It also calls for only essential workers to be going to work.
We will all have to make significant sacrifices. By taking this action, we protect our public health and ultimately the hardship on our economy. This is the time we must come together as Michiganders. If we stay home except for essential work and essential needs, we can each be a part of making the difference here.
And at the same news conference, the state's chief medical officer painted a stark picture of what could happen if nothing was done. Take a listen.
We knew this day would potentially come. If we do nothing, very rough models estimate that the number of cases in Michigan could increase 5-fold in the next week.
Well, now let's take a look at the county-by-county numbers. Wayne County, and specifically the city of Detroit, have seen a spike in cases. Right now, there are 638.
Oakland County right now with 329. Macomb County reporting 175. Our reporters covering so many angles on this tonight. Jason Colthorpe covering DPSCD's decision to change food distribution.
Jamie Edmonds is following the rush at local grocery stores before this order, of course, goes into effect. But we want to start with Rod Maloney breaking down who is and isn't included in this stay-at-home order. Rod.
Yeah, good evening. You know, it's a situation where the Chamber of Commerce is saying that businesses across the state are scrambling, trying to figure out whether they can stay open or not. Pizzeria behind me is going to close. The Thai restaurant says they're going to stay open. Who's right? Well, let's take a look. Lots and lots of Michigan businesses are already closed, but the governor's new order changes the game in that only those necessary to sustain or protect life will stay on the job. Here's a partial list. Anyone in healthcare, public safety, grocery store employees, workers in government-based operations or essential functions, food and agriculture, energy, water and wastewater, transportation and logistics, communications and information technology. Also, critical manufacturing, hazardous materials, financial services, chemical supply chains and safety, defense industrial base, and childcare. Everyone else should stay home. Hello. Hello. But that list leaves a lot of unanswered questions. For instance, here at City Bark in downtown Detroit, it's a pet shop, really, providing leashes, accessories for dogs and cats, along with food. Alicia Fisher says they're staying open.
We consider ourselves to be essential because we have the dog food, cat food as well, supplies of all kind. So we are labeled as a grocery store.
They intend to do more with the curbside and order ahead service. And Michigan Chamber of Commerce President Rich Studley says good for them.
It is not the intent of this order to have people who are involved, for example, in police or fire or public works, have to stay at work while their pets die of starvation.
Now, there are some other things about this order that actually are helpful for people who are going to be home. You can go outside, but the governor says, please stay 6 feet apart from people you know. If you want to travel, say you've got a house up north, you can go to your house up north. If you're looking to leave the state to go and back to your home in another state or even another part of Michigan, you can go as well. But there are a lot of things that you may want to have questions about. The full 9-page order we have on clickondetroit.com, and you can take a look there for yourself. Now, another place where there's a little bit of concern tonight is at the grocery store. And for that, we turn to my colleague Jamie Edmonds, who's in Grosse Pointe tonight, with that angle on the story. Jamie.
Good evening, Rod. You know, this grocery store behind me, it's called Village Market, has been packed all day long. People stocking up after hearing what the governor said. But everyone I talked to said today, don't panic. These stores will remain open. The aisles of Village Market and Grosse Pointe Farms were packed today, and this store was not the only one.
I walked into Kroger's a couple of weeks ago, and there was a line all the way to the back of the store. I wanted one item. I said I don't need it that much, so I only shop at small, normal stores.
Today, the governor signed the Stay Home, Stay Safe executive order, and shoppers were rushing to stock up. But Village Market owner Jacob Garmo says, do not panic.
I think people are they're misinformed, so they just don't know, and they're just stocking up because they're just misinformed, or just they don't know.
Grocery stores will remain open during this time. Garmo says you may not get the exact item you're looking for, but you will be able to feed yourself and your family.
We're reassuring customers. I mean, the best thing is to keep customers at ease and make sure that they understand that we'll be fully stocked, and we'll do our best with our suppliers and our team members and our buyers to make sure that everything is fully stocked and full for them.
Kroger sent us a statement that reads in part, in an effort to meet this unprecedented demand, we are working tirelessly to expand our logistics capabilities. We are asking our customers to be patient and to shop responsibly and purchase what you need, knowing that we will continue to replenish stores. Meijer declined an interview citing how busy they are, but they too sent a statement. Quote, our supply chain and merchant teams are working diligently with our suppliers to expedite product flow. We've been able to get some essential products back into our stores in limited quantities and are placing purchase limits on key items to ensure more customers have an opportunity to purchase what they need. Now, Village Market and others doing several things, like there's no self-serve, there's deep cleaning happening when the store is closed. There are those special hours for immunocompromised people. I also talked to the owner of Nino Salvaggio, Frank Nicolella. He said it's similar in all four of their stores. They're even disinfecting the carts in between uses. And he wanted me to make sure I say this. He is so grateful for his employees for working through this. I'm live tonight in Grosse Pointe. Now we're heading over to Jason Colthorpe to talk about Detroit Public Schools.
Hi, Jamie, and good evening, everyone. While the governor today did include school lunch programs as one of those vital services that can continue, the Detroit Public School District is forced to make some crucial changes to its program, all while the superintendent wants to make a crucial suggestion to the governor, and that is ending the school year right now. Even as students are home, many depend on their schools for meals, and that includes the biggest district in the state, Detroit Public Schools Community District. 58 schools were opened up as distribution sites, and so far students have picked up 70,000 grab-and-go meals. But a new problem has been happening. More and more employees are getting sick. So as of today, lunches will be available, but the system is changing. Also, Superintendent Nikolai Viti is asking state leaders to end the school year now, but continuing the funding for the remainder of the fiscal year. He also wants graduating seniors to be able to get their diplomas based on the required credits, but not counting the last semester. If students need or want additional credits, they can get those in summer school, or the districts can simply waive them. Now, as for the school lunch programs, the district is working on how that's going to go forward right now. As a matter of fact, I've been on the phone with a district spokesperson who said they're trying to sort it all out. But the bottom line is it has to change, and they're not sure how or why just yet. But they're thinking meals won't be available for students until the end of this week. Again, we're hoping to hear from the superintendent on this later this evening. When we get that, we'll be sure to have it for you tonight as soon as possible. Devin, back to you.
Yeah, you bet. All right, Jason. Meanwhile, Mayor Duggan is supporting Governor Whitmer's mandate, announcing several changes that are going to go into effect for several city services, and that includes buses.
Wednesday, DDOT will replace its daily schedule with a lighter Saturday schedule. City is also working to restore water to more homes that were shut off due to past due bills. And Detroit's Recreation Department is providing meals for children. The mayor says we must isolate ourselves.
What you are doing by going out with crowds is giving life to this very deadly virus. We've lost 15 people in the state already. The numbers are going up by the hour. And the people who are listening to me today have the power to choke this virus off. And that is the point of the governor's message.
And Mayor Duggan says there are 282 Detroit Police Department officers being quarantined. He expects 152 of them will be back to work by the end of the week. The governor, Dr. Calhoun, and Mayor Duggan each made special mention of the importance of getting young people on board with reducing public activity.
Our Dr. Preminger says it is clear that it's an essential element to slowing the spread. Doc?
Here's the message that all young people need to hear. Please be part of the solution, not the problem. All the evidence shows if you are under 40, even under 20, you are not immune from this. And many young people are becoming critically ill. But the big message is the tendency toward a more casual attitude and, frankly, unnecessary gathering is really contributing to the risk in our community as a whole. We don't completely know the degree to which younger people are affected at this point yet, but it is certain that younger people are affected, and without a doubt, they can transmit the virus. Curtailing unnecessary activity is now more important than ever to protect yourself and everyone that you come in contact with, and the governor's order today really drives that home. Back to you.
All right, Doc, thanks. Another bumpy ride on Wall Street today. Stocks taking a hit as Congress faces another roadblock in talks to inject nearly $2 trillion into the economy. Nothing from them yet. And in the meanwhile, the Dow falls more than 580 points, while the S&P 500 dropped 3% on the day.
Much more ahead. Here's Ben.
Kim, no problems here with weather. Just a lot of clouds that are going to break up tonight. Will we get the sunshine tomorrow? We'll look at that coming up.
He's a Michigan doctor, a Wayne State grad, and was the first person to test positive for the coronavirus in his community. And now he is sharing an important message for all of you. That story, new tonight.
Everyone is trying to avoid contact with people. How is that affecting the real estate market? How are people selling homes when you can't even get inside?
With the coronavirus pandemic accelerating, pressure is mounting on Congress to help worried Americans. I'm Alice Barr in Washington. Coming up, the latest on the holdup in a $2 trillion stimulus package.